Political campaigns are at their peak, even as Kenyans stare at tough times ahead, with the cost of living expected to continue rising and further burden families struggling to make ends meet. This is exacerbated by the latest fuel prices that the energy regulator has announced, increasing fuel prices by more than 5 shillings per litre. As we look at this, gubernatorial aspirants are still fighting to get clearance as their academic qualifications are probed. We have these and more stories on News Watch tonight. Good evening and welcome. I'm Tonny Omondi, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. Now, Kenyans are looking at yet another hard month after the Energy, Petroleum and Regulatory Authority, EPRA, revised fuel pump prices upwards for the month of June to July 2022. In the new price review, all petroleum products will rise by 9 shillings a litre. The upward revision in the cost of all 3 fuel products sends the cost of super petrol in the capital, Nairobi, to 159.12 shillings per litre, with diesel and kerosene costing 140 and 127.94 shillings respectively. The high fuel prices in the pricing cycle is despite the utilization of the fuel price stabilization mechanism, commonly known as the fuel subsidy. The increase, according to EPRA, is attributable to an increase in the landed cost of fuel imports in the month of May. The subsidy is set to cover 25.56 shillings for super petrol consumers, 48.19 shillings for diesel, and 42.43 for kerosene. Without the utilization of the cover, petrol would cost 184.68 shillings per litre, while diesel and kerosene prices would stand at 188.19 and 170.37 shillings per litre. Moving on, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC) Disputes Tribunal has continued with its hearing on the contentious academic issues facing candidates vying for the gubernatorial positions in the upcoming August 9th general election. The tribunal had a petition against Machakos gubernatorial candidate Wavinya Ndeti after 2 petitioners moved to court to challenge her clearance to vie for the Machakos gubernatorial seat. The petitioners claim Wavinya Ndeti lacks a university degree and what she currently holds is fake. Dickens Livanda brings us a detailed report on Wavinya and former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko, whose party is rooting for his clearance to vie for the Mombasa gubernatorial seat.
The genuineness of degree certificates for several political candidates vying for gubernatorial positions in the August 9 general elections has been put to test. The 10-member IEBC Disputes Tribunal for the 4th day on Tuesday had a petition against Machakos gubernatorial candidate on a Wiper Party ticket Wavinya Ndeti and Mike Sonko, who was blocked by the IEBC to vie in the Mombasa governorship contest. 2 Machakos voters, Gideon Ngeiwa and Kisilu Mutisia, lodged a complaint challenging Wavinya Ndeti's bid to contest for the governor's seat on claims that she is not qualified to vie for the position.
The expectation by a member of the public in accordance with Section 22 of the Elections Act is that the degree which is submitted to IEBC is not authentic. You can easily go to River Road here and produce a degree certificate under the University of London, and then you present it to the Commission for University Education. They will say that degree is recognized. So for our purposes, what we have said is that if you look at the complaint, there are so many inconsistencies which make this degree not authentic.
In the complaint, the voters claim that Ndeti does not have a university degree as required by the law, and that her academic certificates are questionable, inconsistent, and that although she claims to have studied in the United Kingdom, there is no record of her ever registering in the UK under the permutations of her name.
You got a master's degree in 1992 and then a bachelor's degree in 1995. How is that even possible? If you go deeper, you will find that whereas Wavinya Ndeti claims to have a master's degree, she doesn't have the requisite understanding of basic issues regarding computer programming.
That's why we actually just only produced that one, because we thought whatever qualification is needed is a university degree. And that has been accepted as a qualified and as an authentic, not necessarily authentic, but it has been recognized by the Commission for University Education.
These same factual issues existed in 2017, in 2013, over 10 years ago, when Wavinya Ndeti was cleared for the first time to contest. in the elections. And I submit that the complainants are merely gambling with the judicial process.
Ndeti, who is a former Transport CAS, Member of Parliament for Kathiani constituency, was given a direct ticket by the Wiper Party on April 15th after a consensus that saw Mavoko Member of Parliament Patrick Makau drop out of the race to support her.
Nasema yaliondoe LCP.
Ndeti joined politics in the year 2007 following her election as Kathiani Member of Parliament under the Chama cha Uzalendo Party and unsuccessfully vied for Machakos gubernatorial seat in 2017. Still before the tribunal, the Wiper Party lodged a complaint against the Electoral Commission for barring Mike Sonko to vie for the Mombasa governor seat.
My French Bukati ametoa matamshi. Sasa, the first thing I've instructed our teams is to raise what is called a PO, a preliminary objection, and they will serve the IBC team. No matter it be hard tomorrow, time is extremely of the essence.
Accompanied by his party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, Sonko argued that the decision by IBC's returning officer Swalha Ibrahim to disqualify him from the Mombasa governor race was erroneous. The tribunal has also received cases opposing the clearance of UDA Nairobi Governor aspirant Johnson Sakaja, Meru UDA aspirant Mithika Linturi, Taita Taveta candidate Granton Sambuja who seeks to defend his seat, ODM Simba Arati of Kisii, and Amani National Congress Cleophas Malala of Kakamega on the grounds of fake academic degrees. Deacon Sluvanda, Hope TV News.
World Blood Donor Day is celebrated annually across the globe on June 14th. One of this year's objectives is to thank blood donors in the world and create wider public awareness of the need for regular and paid blood donation. Considering this, St. John Ambulance Kenya, in collaboration with Kenya National Blood Transfusion Service, Kenya Red Cross, among other stakeholders, has announced a blood donation exercise from Monday this week. As the stakeholders seek to boost the country's blood bank, Kenyans have been urged to donate blood to help save dire situations during emergencies. Melissa Odor reports. This story was produced by Eunice Maina.
In building solidarity in blood donation, the world this year is moving in tandem with the blood donation slogan dubbed "Donating Blood is an Act of Solidarity" to sensitize the globe on the need to donate blood. Every year, millions of people need blood transfusions worldwide. Some may need blood during surgery, others after an accident or because they have a medical condition that requires blood components. Blood donation makes all of this possible. St. John Ambulance Kenya, in collaboration with the Kenya National Blood Transfusion Service, Kenya Red Cross, among other stakeholders, is carrying out a blood donation exercise this week from the 13th to the 17th of June at Kencom Bus Stop, Nairobi CBD.
So today is World Blood Donor Day. It's a day that we appreciate and celebrate those who have donated blood, especially to help those who need blood in hospital. Because you know, blood is not manufactured, it is donated. The blood that is donated is helpful to pregnant women who are seeking maternal health services. It's given to accident victims. Even anemic people require regular blood. So if you donate blood, it helps those kind of category of people.
The importance of this day is for members of the general public to donate a pint of their blood. So that's around 450 milliliters.
Blood is a necessary resource for the planned treatments and the emergency interventions. It also helps patients who are suffering from chronic conditions and can help them live longer. Donating is safe, simple, and easy. The first step is to check your weight, which is followed by filling out a short questionnaire about your current health. Then a nurse will take your temperature and blood pressure, followed by your hemoglobin level. The whole process takes about 10 minutes.
This is the 4th time I'm donating blood. Yeah, and it makes me feel good when I do that because I know I'm helping someone else who is in need of it.
I do it as a passion, also to help people who need blood at some times when they cannot get it immediately.
I was passing by and I saw that there's this initiative. I usually donate blood anytime I get a chance.
It's good to save lives. So you never know tomorrow. Tomorrow you might need it, or even people might need it. Then someone will donate blood for them.
The World Health Organization recommends that all blood donations should be screened for infections prior to use. Screening for HIV, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and syphilis should be mandatory. Because of the risk of blood-borne infections, not everyone can donate blood.
Any person who is above the age of 16 years to 65 is eligible to donate blood, and also they have to be above 50 kilograms to donate blood. So that's mainly the only criteria. There are those who have HIV or hepatitis or syphilis. Those people may not donate blood at the moment because that blood may affect somebody else who is given, because the viruses or the issues with their blood can affect the person who is receiving the blood. That's why the blood has to be screened for those kind of diseases.
Part of the blood we collect is taken into small vials, and for that we use that small sample to screen for certain illnesses such as hepatitis, HIV, STIs such as syphilis.
A simple blood donation can save the life of a person with leukemia, restore the strength of a cancer patient, or provide a critical transfusion to an accident victim. Giving blood saves lives, but it is always in high demand.
The need for blood is constant, and as we all know, again, the blood is helpful for people who are suffering from life-threatening conditions. This include postpartum hemorrhage as well as severe anemia.
Again, is because blood expires after about 35 to 42 days. So if you donate blood, it will have to be used in less than 1 month or so.
On Sunday, the 12th of June 2022, Sitam Buruburu, through the Social Action and Advocacy Ministry, in partnership with various stakeholders, held a blood donation drive where hundreds of people turned up to donate blood.
As part of the social action, what we have done, we have rallied the Eastlands as a whole so that people can come and donate blood. But that's not it. What we want is, can Kenyans become regular blood donors?
We have got a blood shortage in the country, and we have several incidences or circumstances where we need blood, like now in mothers that have got postpartum hemorrhage where we need blood. We have got several accidents and incidences where people need blood, and we have got a blood shortage. So this is a very important activity.
Generally, the world over, blood is a very scarce commodity, and as you are aware, blood is life, literally. So the reason we are doing this is so that we want Kenyans to be aware that every year this country requires about 500,000 units of blood. And yet the only one that we're able to achieve in terms of that target is only around 290,000 units.
This initiative is it is our response to this community, to our nation, so that we can demonstrate God's love, radiate God's glory through our love. That is why we are donating blood, and we want to encourage as many of you probably out there also to consider doing the same.
There is an ongoing need for blood donors because there is no other substitute for human blood. Donating blood is a noble act which saves many lives, and it is possible to donate blood more than once a year.
After every 3 months for men and 4 months for women, one can donate again and again and again. And if you become a regular donor, at least we can plan with your blood to ensure that people get it when they need it.
And so I'm calling out to everyone to participate on this drive, not only for today, but also for the incoming days.
Many times maybe you hear maybe somebody requires a bill to be paid in hospital, and you may not have the money, but you have blood freely moving in your veins. Why not come, donate this blood and save a life?
You never know whose life you might be changing. You never know whose life you might be saving, but just by simply donating some blood.
According to WHO, blood transfusion saves lives and improves health. But many patients requiring transfusion do not have timely access to safe blood. Providing safe and adequate blood should be an integral part of every country's national healthcare policy and infrastructure. For Hope TV News Watch, I'm Melissa Odor.
Thank you, Melissa. That story was produced by Eunice Mburu, our health producer. Let's now switch gears here. A family in Mikimbi village, Manyata constituency, Embu County, is in agony over the death of their kin who was clobbered to death at a local pub after failing to pay 3,000 shillings for the alcohol he had taken alongside his friend. The victim, Tom Musyoki, and his friend Munene Mbogo were allegedly stripped and beaten with crude weapons on Monday night. The victim, who recently graduated from Mount Kenya University with a Bachelor of Education degree, died while receiving treatment at the Kerugoya General Hospital, where he was rushed by family members and his friends who came to their rescue. His friend is currently in critical condition. The family is currently seeking justice for the loss of their loved one.
Ilikuwa saa 5 ya jioni, nikapigwa simu na mtoto wangu. Nikakosa kuchukua njoo, nilikuwa nimelala, lakini nikaamuka. Baada kuchukua nikapata ni yeye. Nikaona tu ni yeye, lakini labda ni vile tu amezoea kuniulizia mama umeniwekea chakula. Nikakataa kupiga simu. Dakika 2 baba yake akanipigia akiwa mbali. Akaniambia amesikia mtoto wako katika hali mbaya, anapigwa na watu, sijui amekataa kulipa bili ya pombe na anatakiwa 2,000. Akaniulizia kama niko nazo, nikamwambia saa hii sina pesa. Akaniambia hata mimi sina, lakini waacha nitafute. Nikamwambia kabla utafute hata mimi waacha nitokee niende. Ndio nifike hapo wasimfanyie vibaya kama ako Kangaru.
Level 5 nao tunaomba. Tafadhali tumeumia. Watu wanakufa. Kama huyo sasa ni Kangaru, ni hata si mbali kutoka Kangaru kwenda level 5. Kama angeshughulikiwa, unasikia hata mzazi hakuwa na pesa ya kwenda private. Kama angeenda hiyo level 5, ashughulikiwe. Sasa tungekuwa hata pengine na Tom kwa mikono.
Tunataka tu kuona mkono ya serikali ikisaidia sisi kama raia. Hii ya watu kusukua sheria mkononi, ningewaomba hata tu kama hakuna mtu akosangi. Mtu akikukosea baada ya kuchukua sheria mkononi, ni heli uite watu wao kama ni deni wakulipe, ama upeleke hapo polisi. Kama hawa polisi iko hapo karibu, wangeasukua wapeleke hapo polisi. Kama ni deni twende hapo tulipe, tukikosa kulipa waende wastakiwe mbahanda ya kufanya hii madhambi yote.
Let's come back to Nairobi County, where the Governor Anne Kananu has launched the Nairobi City Climate Action Plan, whose aim is to address climate challenges bedeviling the city. Speaking at City Hall, Kananu noted that it was time the county finally committed to develop and implement an ambitious climate action plan that aligns with the global goal of reducing greenhouse gas emissions in the county. Other speakers at the event commended the launch of the action plan, noting it was timely for the county and other urban centers to start looking into ways of managing the climate crisis being experienced globally.
Your Excellency the Governor, the law is also aimed at providing for appeals, offences and penalties, enforcement, exemptions, national and county governments bound further provide for mechanisms for effective implementation of the national regulations on the air pollution and environment management. Your Excellency the Governor, the implementation of this law will go a long way in ensuring clean environment to the residents of Nairobi.
So we are calling on actually the city to continue working on environmental monitoring, especially on the 3 areas that have been highlighted in the action plan. That is transport, waste and energy, because the first 2 actually are main in our dockets, and it will be our interest that as we do this, we are also continuing to gather data to inform decision making, even as we integrate this in the county integrated development plan and in the county environment action plan.
Money has just begun for the city of Nairobi to build resilience against frequent climate risk and hazards like urban flooding, heat stress, and extreme weather events that have a high impact on urban infrastructure, food, health, and water systems, and for greater responsibility not only on the part of the county government, but also from the great citizens of residents of Nairobi.
On solid waste management, there's been great improvements on efforts to clear environment of garbage daily collection, averaging to 3,000 tons daily. This has impacted a lot, not only on reducing visual pollution, but also reducing generation of greenhouse gases brought about by improper waste management. NMS, since its establishment, has been implementing the Sustainable Solid Waste Management Action Plan developed for Nairobi in collaboration with Ministry of Environment and Forestry, which was aimed at transiting Nairobi from the linear model of waste management to the circular economy.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has received the African Gender Award 2022 for championing gender equality and development in the country. The African Gender Award usually serves as a mechanism to monitor and reward an African head of state or government who has demonstrated outstanding achievements in promoting gender equality and development within the thematic areas of the African Union's Solemn Declaration on Gender Equality. Speaking at State House, Nairobi, when he received the award, President Kenyatta thanked the Gender is My Agenda campaign for recognizing the Republic of Kenya's leadership towards translating the AU Solemn Declaration on Gender Equality into action. Grace Ongoi reports.
There is reason to celebrate with President Uhuru Kenyatta after he was awarded the African Gender Award 2022 for being in the front line in championing gender equality and development. The award, given to outstanding heads of state or government who promote gender equality and development, is part of the Solemn Declaration on Gender Equality in Africa, which was adopted by the Assembly of Heads of State and Governments of the African Union, AU, in 2004.
The Gender is My Agenda campaign for recognizing the Republic of Kenya and our leadership towards translating the African Union's Solemn Declaration on Gender Equality into action by making it a reality for the lives of women, men, girls and boys.
Seeing that he only has a few months before he exits the office, Uhuru expressed optimism that the foundation his administration had laid for advancing gender equality, including consolidation of strong partnerships and synergies, will be nurtured, expressing hope that it will continue in the next regime.
And to say that I am indeed also very proud of the fact that I think the standing of our nation is much higher, more respected, more appreciated and more consulted than it was 9 years ago as a result of the work that we have done together.
The award given to President Uhuru is based on 3 thematic indices, namely HIV Index, Education Index and Gender Parity Index.
Are accredited.
On the HIV Index, Uhuru administration increased access to ARVs for women from 67% to 91%. Uhuru's administration also increased free maternity services and increased the number of deliveries in health facilities by 23.1% between 2014 and 2018. On the Education Index, the selection committee noted that Kenya made significant improvement in increasing its primary education enrollment from 83% in 2016 to 103.4% in 2022 and increasing the country's overall literacy level to above 80%. Achievements on gender parity included a growth of 2.9% in women's representation in parliament between 2016 and 2022, which shot to 16% between 2019 and 2022.
Accredited here.
Leaders present at the ceremony including Foreign Affairs CS Rachel Omamo, Public Service CS Professor Margaret Kobia, Foreign Affairs PS Ambassador Macharia Kamau, among others, praised the leadership of President Uhuru, noting that it prioritized gender equality and equity.
And your leadership, Your Excellency, and guidance, gender equality and equity occupies a very central position in your government's national development agenda.
Through President Kenyatta's leadership, we have had a journey of transformation, a journey of repositioning of Kenya's foreign policy and of Kenya's stature in the world today.
Grace Ongoi for TV News Watch.
Let's get into some politics now. Deputy President William Ruto and his Kenya Kwanza counterparts today hosted a section of Gikomba Market second-hand traders at his current residence. While addressing the traders, Ruto said their business is not a threat to the textile industry in Kenya, adding that the two sectors serve different segments and can coexist. The Kenya Kwanza allies afterwards took their campaigns to Mukuru kwa Ruben and Imara Daima in Nairobi County, where Nairobi gubernatorial aspirant Johnson Sakaja alleged there's a plot to lock him out of the Nairobi gubernatorial race. Tess Njenga tells us more.
A week after the Mitumba Consortium sought audience with the Deputy President William Ruto and Azimio presidential candidate Raila Odinga, DP Ruto has hosted a section of the traders. Ruto now says if elected president, his government will introduce legislation that will protect small and medium enterprise traders, especially those of imported second-hand clothes popularly known as Mitumba. The Deputy President also stated that his government, as well as the Nairobi County government, will build new modern markets that will have specific areas for second-hand traders.
Tumesema lazima tuinue biashara ya kila mtu. Hata kama biashara yako ni kidogo. Kazi ya serikali sio kukuja na kucriminalize biashara yako. Hapana. Kazi ya serikali ni kuinua hiyo biashara yako, badala ya wewe kupata shilingi 200 upate 500.
Ruto continued to drum up support for the bottom-up economic model that he says will help Kenyans.
Na ndio tumesema hapa kama Kenya Kwanza ya kwamba tunataka hatua yetu ya pili ni kutengeneza hazina maalum ambayo itapatia pesa wafanyabiashara wale wako chini, wale wako bottom, wale wanatengeneza shilingi 50, 100, wakibahatika 200 kwa siku. Tunataka kwa mapenzi ya Mungu waanze kupata shilingi 500 ama 1000 kwa siku.
On his part, DP Ruto's presidential running mate Rigathi Gachagua supported the traders, saying the so-called Mitumba business had dignified many Kenyans' lives.
Hebu nione wala anasema tubadilishe uchumi.
The team afterwards took its campaigns to Kwa Ruben and Imara Daima in Nairobi County, where Nairobi gubernatorial aspirant Johnson Sakaja said that there is a plot to keep him from being Nairobi's governor.
Kuna wadosi wamekaa mahali wanasema kijana wa mtu kawaida hawezi kuwa gavana wa Nairobi. Si mnaona wananiandama, wananiwekea makesi. Mimi nimesoma, niko na makaratasi na najua Mwenyezi Mungu atatushikilia, tutafaulu. Nitakuwa kwa hiyo debe ya kuwa governor wa Nairobi City County. Sasa nyinyi mtachaguliwa governor wenu ama nyinyi ndio mtaamua? Yule ambaye ataamua governor ni wananchi wa kawaida ama ni wale mabosi? Sini sisi? Sini nyinyi?
At the same time, while addressing Nairobi residents, ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi blamed the Jubilee government for the high cost of living as a result of rampant corruption.
Sisi tumeona kuna wizara moja peke yake. Auditor General ametoa hesabu yake. Ameonyesha kwamba wizara ya ICT, yule jamaa anasema anajua mambo ya teknolojia, amefuja ama wizara yake imefuja bilioni 12.5 za pesa za Wakenya. Mimi nataka niwaambie Wakenya, wakifuja pesa zetu hivyo, ndio kwa sababu maisha yanakuwa magumu, ndio kwa sababu bei ya chakula inaharibika, ndio kwa sababu bei ya petroli inaharibika. Kwa hivyo hatuna lengine bali kuwang'oa kupitia kwa kura tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8 mwaka huu.
Reporting for Hope TV News Watch, I'm Tess Njenga.
The Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party presidential candidate Raila Odinga has pledged mega water projects in Ukambani if he gets into office after the August 9th general election. Speaking in Makueni County, Odinga said his government will prioritize rain harvesting and launch projects to tap Nzima Springs on the border of Makueni and Taita Taveta to alleviate water scarcity in the counties of Kitui, Machakos and Makueni. As Kennedy Kimani now reports, this is the second time in a week that Odinga is campaigning in Ukambani as he seeks to boost his chances of bagging the 2.7 million votes in the region.
For the second time in a week, the Azimio presidential candidate Raila Odinga has today taken his campaigns back in the Ukambani region as he seeks to woo the 2.7 million voters to vote for him in the race to State House on the 9th of August. Speaking in the county of Makueni, Odinga, who was accompanied by Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, Coach boss Francis Atwoli, among other leaders, said he will prioritize rain harvesting and launch projects to tap Mzima Springs on the border of Makueni and Taita Taveta to alleviate water scarcity in the region if he gets elected.
Tutatumia mbinu ya kuvuna maji ya mvua wakati inanyesha. Tutajenga mabwawa na vidimbwi ili sahili mvua inanyesha kwa wingi, tunavuna hiyo maji. Baadaye sisi tunatumia hiyo maji kwa matumizi ya binadamu na wanyama. Alafu vile profesa amesema, Mzima Spring iko hapo karibu. Maji safi inatoka Mzima Spring, inaenda moja kwa moja na bomba mpaka Mombasa, sio? Tutaweka branch moja na kuja hapa.
We are on a very serious mission. Huku ni nyumbani. Yule atakuwa MCA mnamjua, yule atakuwa MP mnawajua, lakini leo ni Raila tunatafutia kura.
Suna East MP Junet Mohamed said Deputy President William Ruto cannot be trusted the leadership of the country, with the court boss Francis Atwoli faulting the IEBC for clearing the Deputy President.
William Ruto hana numbers ya kushinda uchaguzi ujao. Wale watu ambaye wako na numbers ya kushinda uchaguzi ni Azimio la Umoja One Kenya. Si namna hiyo? Nyinyi mlipigia baba 2013 wakiwa na Kalonzo, mkapigia 2017 na mnakumbuka vile umefanyika. Sasa baba anasema mjinga amerefu. Mjinga amefanya nini? Na mjinga kirefuka, mwerevu yuko wapi? Yuko wapi?
Mimi ndio nilikuwa mtu wa kwanza kuambia nyinyi wa Kenya ya kwamba William Samoei Ruto hatakuwa president, na nikasema pia hatakuwa kwa debe. Mimi nataka kuambia tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8 mwaka huu, mnasikia, rais wetu atakuwa Raila Amolo Odinga.
Muangalie Pwani, muangalie Ukambani, Nairobi, Magharibi, Nyanza, Masaini, hata mkija mkoa wa Kati, muone Martha Karua hapo, Rais Uhuru hapo, na mimi hapo. Hizo kura zinaenda kwa baba.
Asante.
Kennedy Kimani, Hope TV News Watch.
All right, with that report by Kennedy Kimani, News Watch now takes a short break. Still have more coming ahead. Do stay with us.
Every day, over 15 million members are transforming Africa. 15 million members, empowered to learn, to create, to grow, to harvest, to lead, to dream. Equity. Karibu member.
Welcome back to Newswatch. Let's look at what is happening at the counties. The United Democratic Alliance UDA gubernatorial candidate in Narok County, Patrick Ntutu, has received a boost in his quest after a group of youths from Narok County endorsed him. The young men, aged between 18 and 25, who visited him at his home in Narok West Sub-County, lauded Ntutu's leadership style, noting his track record over the years. The youths also took the opportunity to shun insightful politics and hate speech that could easily plunge the country into chaos. Ntutu will be facing off the incumbent Narok North Member of Parliament, Moitalel Ole Kenta, who is vying on an ODM ticket.
Kama mjuavyo, hii ni wakati wa siasa, na leo nimeshukuru sana kwa sababu viongozi wao wako hapa, Oletikani, Olepere, na hao wengine wote wameweza kukuja na vijana karibu 2,000. Na lengo yao na mathumuni ya kufika hapa ni kwamba ni kukuja kunihakikishia ya kwamba wataenda kutupea support kama chama ya Kenya Kwanza. Na leo wameamua ya kwamba ikifika tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8 mwaka huu wataenda kupigia Kenya Kwanza team kutoka juu kutoka kwa president wetu the 5th president Mheshimiwa William Samoei Ruto. Yeye ndiye ataenda kuwa president wetu wa 5 na wamepitisha hiyo.
Patrick Ole Ntutu, according to our culture and norms, is like our father. He is a father to all Ilmirisho age group. He is our Kebali or Kishili. So Orkeshili are the fathers to Ilmirisho. Ilmirisho now are gathered today to declare support for their dad.
Let's move to Nakuru County now. Communities living around Naivasha dry port have warned that they will seek a redress should the port be shut or end services and render them jobless. The communities have expressed uncertainty over political interest in the multi-billion shilling investment. Local politicians in the area have blamed the Kenya Kwanza Brigade for allegedly saying that port services will be taken back to Mombasa.
Kwa hivyo hiyo serikali ndio tunaona ni amana kuliko hii ya watu wanasema poti itoke hapa na iligharimia pesa ya wananchi mingi kuilete hapo. Alafu kuibomoa kurudisha Mombasa tena itabomoa pesa ngapi zenu? Kulete ile pesa imetumika hapa ni ngapi? Embu tubomoa hii port tupeleke Mombasa tena. Kwa hivyo kula tupeleke pali inastahili. Hiyo port iko hapa. Wale wanasema hivyo. Ikiletwa hapa walikuwa wakusaini. Walikuwa na sign ati hiyo port kuja hapa. Tena wanaambia wananchi, tena port tutoe hapa, turudishe hapo. Tena Nairobi tutoe hapa, tuipeleke sijui Kisimayu. Tujui tutoe sasa tutakuwa wapi? Port ikae hapa, itusaidia hapa, iandike vijana hapa, watu kupeleka mizigo mbali, tuondoe jam.
Kitu cha kwanza, hii mradi ililetwa hapa haijaweza kutusaidia vile inafaa. Sababu wale viongozi ambao tulikuwa nao walienea mlengo mwingine. Kwa hivyo hawajakuwa akifanya kazi na serikali ya Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Hiyo inamaanisha sisi kama wana hiyo tulibaki nje. Na sasa ndio hao wanasema kuwa watatoa ile dry port pale wairudishe Mombasa. Mimi kama mama ninatetea kuwa itabaki pale na si kubaki pale. Itufaidi watoto wetu wapae makazi pale ili
mambo yenye tunatarajia kama wamama wa Masai kutoka kwa mama huyo Martha Karua. Tunajua mama akiingia kiti hata si wa mama tutainuka. Kwa sababu maybe hatukuwa tunajulikana watakuwa wamama wa Kenya, na tunajua mama mmoja akiingia kiti tutafaidika tukua wamama wa Kenya.
Residents of Jumbo in Rabai, Kilifi County have held a demonstration to demand for immediate closure of a metal manufacturing company, which they accuse of polluting the environment and causing health hazards in the area. They claim some of them, children in particular, have been suffering from various respiratory diseases such as chest pains and uncontrolled coughing due to dangerous smokes and chemicals being released from the company. The angry residents, led by Harrison Gonzi, a village elder, Mwangale Chitsa, also accused several government agencies, including NEMA, of failure to enforce the law on the company. Dole Murigi has this report.
The chemicals released by a metal manufacturing company in Rabai, Kilifi County, has been a threat to the resident in Rabai. The resident here claimed that some of them, and children in particular, have been suffering from various respiratory diseases such as chest pains and uncontrolled coughing due to dangerous smoke and chemicals being released from the company.
Huu moshi umeniathiri paka mimi kifua changu. Inakuwa kama ni TB sijui ni nini, nasikia kila wakati paka nikohoe. Na sijui mtoto mdogo kama hawa watoto wadogo umri wao wataendaje ikiwa sasa kama mimi tayari nasikia kuumia. Huu moshi wao walipoanza ulikuwa ni moshi kila mahali mchana kwa usiku.
Watoto wanakohoa mafua hapa kwa hapa, hatujui kama ni sababu ya moshi ama ni kwa sababu ya gani. Na kulikuja watu, kuna shirika hapa Rabai Health wanaita Princess Died. Walikuja wakatupatia vitu, mashine za kuvuta hiyo hewa. Hatujui kama ni vipi, lakini tunaumia kwa uhakika na huu moshi.
The angry resident accused a number of government agencies, including NEMA, for failure to enforce the law on the company. However, Metal Millers management denied the claims, accusing the resident also of malice and ill motives against the company.
Na watu tunapokuamba tunalamika hivyo, wakija wale watu wa NEMA, watu gani, hatujua anafanywa nini hapo ndani. Manaka atazungumza mazuri alafu baadaye, lakini hakuna mafuatiliziaji yanaendelea. Inakuwa tu hivyo, si bado tunabaki tu tukidua hivyo.
So badala kuwa kampuni imeikwa, kumekuwa na kelele mingi sana mpaka sasa hii mtu hawezi fungua redio imekuwa ni kampuni. Hakuna vile za kukaa kusikiliza ukawa na amani. Kumekuwa na uchafuzi mwingi, tukianza na kelele. Hali ya anga imekuwa ni mbaya kwa sababu moshi unaotoka kwa hiyo kampuni una madhara mengi sana.
Addressing the meeting in his office over the claims, Govinda Patel, the company general manager, however, admitted that the problems of smoke coming from the furnace has been there, but mitigation measures are already in place to curb it once for all, adding that new technology has been put in place by the engineers to ensure smoke being released in the area from the company is environmentally friendly.
Sema sewage hapa kuna sewage. Sijui mambo ya sewage metoka wapi. Nasema waste ni kidogo sana. Na hiyo sisi naweka kwa shamba yetu na pale ile iko simu. Alafu ile nini nasema moshi, okay, sikatai, saa nyingine inatoka kama iko shida. Lakini saa hii hata nini mwenyewe iko hapa unazaona hakuna moshi. So it doesn't mean smokes natoka saa yote. Hiyo ni wakati na charge hiyo raw material in furnace, ile shakar naweka na sukuma kidogo kando, hiyo 5-10 minutes saa ingine natoka, lakini sitoki hata nini na naweza ona saa hii.
However, the area resident has been asked to be friendly and work together with the company, which the management says was providing them with employment and other social amenities. Dolly Mirigi, Hope TV.
In Uasin Gishu County, gubernatorial aspirant Bundotich Zedekia Kiprop, better known as Buzeki, has promised Kapseret sub-county residents of revamping the dairy sector if elected into office. Buzeki said that at the moment, dairy farmers in the county are faced with a lot of challenges, including limited access to reliable markets, poor quality animal feeds, ineffective extension services, and inadequate water for animals. The independent gubernatorial aspirant said should he be elected governor of Uasin Gishu, his government will also introduce a free milk program to all ECDE pupils in Uasin Gishu and further automate the dairy sector for easier, reliable and faster payments.
Na hiyo maziwa watoto wa ECD wote ya Uasin Gishu watakunywa maziwa ya Uasin Gishu. Na ukipeleka maziwa yako utakuwa na kadi yako ya maziwa, unaenda kwa kula, unamwaga maziwa, inawekwa kwa kadi yako. Na hiyo kadi yako itakuwa na rekodi yako ya maziwa. Ukienda kwa cooperative society ile tutakutanisha na kula ya maziwa, mahali tunaweka chakula ya ng'ombe, dip, chumvi. Ukifika hapo unaangalia tu, leo ni tarehe 20, nimepeleka maziwa lita ngapi? 200. Ya pesa ngapi? 1800. Unafanya kadi hivi. Wanasema uko na maziwa lita 200. Unataka nini? Nataka chumvi ndogo, chakula ya ng'ombe na Triatex. Unafanya kadi hivi, unachukua vitu kwa store, unajiendea, itapunguzwa kwa mapato yako ya maziwa, ile nyingine utakutana naye kwa account. Tayo letaye kwa factory. Na hii maneno ya kusema siku hizi unaandika vijana ati wale wako na makaratasi peke yake. Wale hawana kwa sababu ya shida ambazo hawangependa. Walikosa karo, wengine walikuwa na shida. Sasa kuna wale vijana tunasemanga cheba taret yote. Hauhitaji kuwa na makaratasi ndio uweke maziwa kwa carton na uweke kwa lori. Unahitaji? Na ndoo ya maziwa ikipigwa na maji moto, imekuja na nyororo, imefika hapa mwisho, utashindwa kupendua upside down na kuweka kifuniko juu. Utashindwa kufagia factory. Hiyo kazi tutapatia hata vijana wale hawana karatasi. Bora tumewafunza discipline na tuwafanyie kitu inaitwa training kidogo. Kwa sababu gani? Tunataka wa vijana wapate pesa, waweze kusomesha watoto wao, ili shida ya kukosa elimu kwa familia zao tuingoe kwa mizizi, na wao pia waanze kukuja juu na wapate watu ambao wamekuwa na elimu kwa familia.
Let's now look at what is happening internationally. 29 more bodies have been found in addition to the 50 already discovered in a village in the district of Setenga, northern Burkina Faso, after an attack at the weekend. The government now says the death toll stands at 79 and has declared 3 days of national mourning. The gunmen attacked the village overnight between Saturday and Sunday. The military are searching the area looking for the perpetrators, but their progress has been slowed down by explosive devices planted by suspected militant groups. During the mourning period, flags will be flown at half-mast on all public buildings and all Burkina Faso missions abroad. The raid is a major setback for the military government, which forced its way to power, accusing the elected government of failing to address insecurity by jihadist groups. The conflict, which also affects swaths of Mali and Niger, is displacing rural communities and contributing to a severe shortage of food. The United Nations International Residual Mechanism for Criminal Tribunals on Monday ruled that Felician Kabuga could stand trial after lawyers sought to hold proceedings on health grounds. The 87-year-old man is a suspected financier of Rwanda's 1994 genocide, which claimed more than 800,000 lives. The UN court decided that Kabuga shall remain detained at the Hague branch of the mechanism and that his trial shall start there until otherwise decided, adding that the suspect should be subject to periodic monitoring by a panel of independent medical experts every 180 days from the filing of this decision. Kabuga was arrested in May 2020 in Peggy, a suburb, after 25 years on the run. He is accused of genocide, incitement to commit genocide, and crimes against humanity.
Yesu ndiye njia.
Juu ya mwamba huu nitalijenga kanisa langu.
Hapa leo hii tuko na msikiti wa Mariamu, msikiti wa Yesu.
Kumbe kuna msikiti wa Yesu.
Ukiandika msikiti wa Yesu Kristo, mwana wa Mariamu, weka injili ndani, hubiria watu injili.
Kitabu ya Yohana inaandikwa 110 AD na Ufunuo Yohana 248 AD.
Na Qur'ani.
Mimi nakueleza habari ya Yesu kwanza, ufahamu hiyo kwanza.
Ungana na walimu wa neno wanapochambua masuala tata katika Biblia, wakiyalinganisha na vitabu vingine vya kidini.
Qur'an imekuja mwaka 600 baada ya Injili.
Yesu ndiye njia.
Biblia inasema pepo la nini? La uaguzi. Pepo la uaguzi maana yake inaweza ikajua wewe nyumbani kwako umetoka saa ngapi. Unajua mapepo yanajua hivi. Kwamba leo ulikula chakula gani.
Kama Bwana Yesu alitumwa kwa wana wa Israeli peke yao, wengine wetu ambao tunamwamini, basi sehemu yetu iko wapi?
Yesu ndiye njia. Kila Jumamosi saa 2 hadi saa 4 ya usiku kwenye runinga uipendayo ya Hope TV.
Welcome back to Newswatch. 43 countries out of 55 have ratified the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. The African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, which is a brainchild of the African Union's Integration and Prosperity Agenda 2063, is supposed to create one large market for its member states. Industry leaders have called for ministers to quickly finalize the strong trade dispute resolution mechanism, improve infrastructure connectivity, open skies, among others. The consultative meeting on the African Continental Free Trade Area and Tripartite Free Trade Area, held in Nairobi, convened over 50 industry leaders and policy experts from private sector associations from Burundi, Kenya, Rwanda, South Sudan, Uganda, and Tanzania to get abreast on the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement rules of origin, EAC, tariff offer, and non-tariff measures.
We are making positive progress in terms of what we call state parties. Those are the countries that have already ratified the agreement. 43 out of 54 that signed the agreement have already ratified. That demonstrates a strong political commitment in terms of the CFTA.
The role of the private sector in the implementation of the Continental Agreement is quite important because it enables the uptake of the opportunities that come with a common market. The private sector understanding of the rules of origin, the application of tariffs, and how that impacts their businesses, it is quite key in ensuring the proper and effective uptake of markets across the region.
Some sports news now. The Kenya Sports Shooting Federation are in their final preparations for the Kenya Open Level 3 IPSC Handgun Championships that will be held at the Shabe Range, Samburu this weekend. Speaking during the announcement of the event, International Pistol Shooting Confederation League Chair Member Muriuki said they're expecting over 160 participants, with 100 clubs across Africa confirming their participation in the championships. It's the first time Kenya is hosting the event, and the federation remains hopeful to host Africa and World Championships in the future.
It's a two-day event. It's actually a 4-day event because on Thursday and Friday we have what is called a pre-shoot, where the officials shoot and just finalize the stage. The main event is 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. And apart from shooting, of course, shooting is the main event. We are there all as shooters. But of course the foreigners will be invited to partake our game drive, because we are also building up the capacity of Samburu to be an international hub for this kind of events, because it's geographically well located, and of course they have the advantage of having some of the best game in the world. So we are organizing for the foreigners to, take a tour of the place, to be our ambassadors for the next events. We'll hope that after that we'll get a world event, because it's a first for this part of Africa. It's only South Africa who've had level 3 events before. So we are glad to bring it to Kenya. We have 22 ranges there, which when we go to places like South Africa, they have 15, 16. We have 22 ranges there on a 5-star lodge facility. In fact, our worry is that they probably need to expand the place a bit more, because going forward, we also want to hold the Commonwealth shooting there, because that range has the capacity for long-range shooting, air guns, and shotgun, everything. So we want to lobby to have the Commonwealth shooting there.
And France's hopes of retaining the Nations League title are over after a home defeat by Croatia, which means they cannot reach next year's finals. Luka Modric's 5th-minute penalty after Ibrahima Konate fouled Ante Budimir was the game's only goal. Didier Deschamps' side are bottom of Group A1 on 2 points from 4 games. The final 2 rounds of games will be played in September, with France hoping to avoid relegation to League B. And that story brings us to the tail end of this bulletin tonight. Thank you so much for always keeping us company and choosing Hope TV as your informer. Till next time, God bless. I'm Tonny, Omondi, and our sign language interpreter has been Boniface Murithi. Have a good night.